Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Anonymous, and in this channel we talk about gang stalking. We talk about their tactics, their methods. We talk about the lies, the truth, and we unveil what is this whole gang stalking thing about. Today I want to talk to you about one of the craziest things that happens during gang stalking. Well, everything about gang stalking is crazy. However, there are some moments in gang stalking that make you think to yourself, holy shizzle, this thing is real, and it is a lot greater than I had possibly thought, a lot bigger than I ever thought. So, when you're driving, there's something that happens. So remember that everything that gang stalkers tell you that they're following you via timing, and by that I mean, but not only by the headlights, but by timing, as in like pulling out of a parking spot as soon as you're driving by, or like getting in your way, or doing an evil grin, following you very close, or sometimes even blocking the freeway. I know that's really out there, but that only happened once. You know, in the 7 years that I have encountered gang stalking, that has ever only happened once, where the freeway was being blocked by semi trucks, and the semi trucks were moving away literally as I was about to drive, right as I was driving in that direction. So that only happened once, and that happened the very first time that I realized that gang stalking was real. It was when they were following me. So now I can discern what was real and what wasn't. The whole thing with the semi trucks was, but this happened when I was conditioned, and I didn't know anything about conditioning. I didn't know anything about perception of the headlights or whatever. So I literally felt like everything that was going around me was part of the gang stalking situation. Like, I remember one time I was going to, like, the first time that I actually encountered gang stalking and the whole situation with the headlights, I was fully convinced that every car that had the headlights on during the day, I was convinced that it was someone following me. So that's how crazy, when I didn't understand anything about conditioning, when I didn't understand anything about gang stalking, the tactics are incredibly powerful. They can convince you of that. Like, I was fully convinced. But, and it took like, how long did it take for that to wear off? It took a long time for that to wear off. Like, I was connected for years, man. I was literally connected for years. But once I was able to like see that the world was running normally, it was just that my perception had been twisted for years. I was able to like unveil everything else. It was almost like a domino effect, where the first time that I noticed that everything was actually normal. The world was running normal, but my perception of it was twisted. It was when pretty much when I started. When was it? It was pretty much when I was on finishing the first year of being in the shelter. It was like after the first year, where I began noticing that it's like everyone is saying normal words. The turn signals are actually being used when they are supposed to be used. I began making observations and I began looking at everything with discernment. And then I was like, holy shit, the world is running normally. It has been running normally for years, but it is my perception that has been twisted so effectively that I am perceiving all of these things as getting gang stalked. Like I was literally living in another reality for many years, and I didn't notice. So that's why people who are getting gang stalked, they are seemed as crazy, because these tools, these things are so effective at making your perceptions, at warping them and twisting them in such a way that makes living life a hell. Like I literally felt persecuted for years, but I knew better to not say anything. I was like, they're trying to make you act like crazy, and they did a couple of times. Thankfully, it was never enough that it made me go out of hand. Whenever I had to be, when my boss had to speak to me because maybe I got a little too loud or something, I always learned. I was like, I always knew, don't say anything out of place. Don't say anything out of place, and I managed to not say anything out of place. But yeah, so these things are incredibly effective, and they will literally make you crazy. So like now I can disconnect immediately. But I wasn't able to do that. They connect me, and then I can fight it off. I know how to fight it off. Just you kind of just have to know what the reality is, and I might be connected for a couple of hours, maybe a day, but it's gonna wear off because I know what the truth is. But that's the thing. If you do not know what the truth is, if you do not know the mechanics of gang stalking, you are going to stay connected, and that's just how it is. And that's why they can tell everyone that you're crazy, and it will be true. You are literally going to be a crazy person because they have turned you into a crazy person. That's why it's so important, if you're getting gang stalked, to understand how this works. That it is a thing of perception, and if you don't know how it works, if you don't know the mechanics behind it, if you don't understand how conditioning works, you are going to be turned into a crazy person. So even when I know the truth, even when I know how this works, they are still able to connect me. Take care of a couple of errands. And you know how gang stalkers talk in doublespeak. As soon as I was getting on the freeway, a giant thing, like a car, had like a giant sign, and then it opened up almost like it was gonna catapult him, and it said, "Have a safe trip." And that was so weird because it just popped up as soon as I looked in that direction. And then I drove by, and then all the cars were like driving super beside me. All of them were purposely doing the whole thing with a turn signal, and all the way to from National City to Imperial Beach. And I was shaken by the time that this was done. It was over. But you know me, I ignored it, or pretended that nothing was happening, which was pretty hard to do. So then also when I was driving to Soapy Joe's car wash, as I was driving by, cars were coming out of the side streets, and they were like pretty much getting right in front of me, right from the side street, as soon as I was driving by. That happened at least like 30 times. I'm not sure if I cannot explain this how I remember it. It's incredibly difficult. But it felt like if they were like communicating, like, oh hey, he's about to pass by, and get ready, and then as soon as I drove by, they just got out like right in front of me, and that happened like all the way on all the streets. And then I parked, and I went to AutoZone, but as soon as I parked, they were like as soon as I got out of my car, you would hear the car door slams, pop, pop, 20 of them. It was insane. And then I got into the freaking I'm not kidding. I got into the freaking while I was walking into AutoZone, there were like people like running, literally running, like not around me, but like behind me, like almost like trying to be like scary, you know. And then there were people like running in the aisles, like on my peripheral vision when I was in AutoZone. So I bought what I needed to get. And you know, and at the end, I'm telling you that this was an operation. Because by the end, when this happened, I was, you know, treating my tires so that the dust will come off, the brake dust will come off my wheels. And there were people waiting for my reaction. And then I heard them say, "Are you serious?" Because I was listening to Britney Spears. I was listening to Britney Spears, and I was like, hit me, baby, one more. And I was just treating my tires like if nothing ever happened. And I literally saw them through my peripheral vision, just saying to themselves. I heard them. They said it out loud. They were like, "Are you fucking kidding?" It was so funny to me. So when this is happening, they do this thing where they like, how do you say, where they like if like where they, let's say that you're about to enter a business and then you turn back and there's gonna be someone standing like looking at you with like a mean face, and then you look away and then you look back and then that person is not there anymore. It's like obviously that person like ran, like moved out of the way, you know, whenever after the first time you saw them. But expect that to happen where they're trying to like make you believe that you're seeing things, when in reality it is just some person that like is standing there making a mean face. And then when you're looking at that direction, the person is there. And then when you look away, they move away or they run away or whatever. And then they're not there anymore. As silly as it might sound, you know, these things are kind of unnerving. They're so unusual. But it is these events that really, really work on turning your perceptions. There's these big theaters, these shows that they put on for the target. They are real. In my entire gang stalking operation, I've had like 4. And so in 7 years, there has been 4 of them. So that tells you how much they actually have to like synchronize. But these are real. So I have been like, they don't happen by chance, but they do happen. I think the 5th one was actually happened last time. But I got too busy recording this video that I wasn't paying attention to it. But I saw that it was beginning to happen. And I purposely didn't pay any attention to it, and I paid attention to the recording of the video to say that, to pretty much imply what you do does not matter to me anymore. And it doesn't. It only matters if I can make some content out of it. I'm willing to take the punches and the insults, but you know, honestly, I don't take any of them personally anymore. Like gang stalking is like nothing to me anymore. It is just something that I enjoy making content out of, because it's something so unusual, so creative, and so powerful. But that moment, that big theater is what actually made me go on YouTube, and it made me Google, or made me search on YouTube, is gang stalking real? And then I began looking for more information about gang stalking, you know. When I found this YouTube channel that said, you know, you have been chosen, you know, or something, and I believed it. But the truth is that gang stalking is a group of manipulators, and I'm telling you this because gang stalkers have told me themselves via the whispering. We are a group of manipulators. It's a gang of manipulation. That's it. That's all they are. And they know it. So everything, absolutely everything that gang stalkers do, take it as an intent of manipulating your perception of yourself, of, well, yeah, that's it. The manipulation of how you see the world. It is a game of manipulating your perceptions. That's it. And these people are doing things that are so out of the ordinary, you know, that are so incredible. And you know, gang stalkers themselves have told me, if you tell anyone what's happening to you, no one is going to believe you. And they know this. They do. And it's true. No one is going to believe you. Which is one of the reasons that I'm making this channel this way, like in anonymous, cartoonish style. Because, well, it is pretty much, I still do not feel comfortable like talking about this with my face on it. I really don't. But that is not, well, that is one of the primary reasons. Like, I feel like if I do it in this style, I have the freedom, you know, to talk about literally everything, regardless of how it could come and bite me back. You know, like, there is no boundaries about the stories that I can tell you. I can tell you what's in my mind, and I can say it however I want it, and it will not come back to bite me. And that's fine. And if it does, you know, that's how I know that they're trying to find me, you know, trying to find my channel. Or that it has gotten big enough that they already found it. So the stories that I tell here are not only, they have a purpose too. The purpose is that, so if I hear anyone mentioning any of these stories to me with the intent of getting back at me, I know that they already are looking at my videos. And that's really important, because after they look at my videos, I know that they're gonna act differently. They're gonna behave differently. And their behavior is gonna tell me, it's gonna confirm a lot of things, even though I already know they're true. Their behavior is gonna confirm the things that I already know. And you know, these people think they're so clever that they have no idea that I know how the entire gang stalking operation truly is. They really think that I possibly believe about direct energy weapons and all that stuff, because no one has ever found the truth. This is the only channel on YouTube that explains to you how it's done. The truth of how it's done. The truth of how you're sensitized to whispering, and you eventually hear the whispering as a thought in your head. How your brain can be manipulated into creating these ghosts, which is something that I'm going to talk about in my next video. So, well, anyways, so going back to the crux of this video is that there are big productions that are produced in gang stalking. However, they are incredibly few. But these operations, these productions, are so powerful that there only needs to be a few of them to keep your perception in the mind that they want you to stay on. There's only needs to be a few of these operations, but these are so powerful that there's all that needs to be done in order to keep your perception the way they want you to keep it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon.